Good evening. Welcome to a regular meeting of the East Windsor Regional School District Board of Ed. Written advance notice of this meeting was provided at least 48 hours ago. Such notice provided the time, date, and location of this meeting and included the agenda to the extent it was known at the time. Notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with law. Minutes of this meeting are being kept by the board secretary and will be made available promptly to any member of the public requesting them from the board secretary at 25A Leshen Lane, Hightstown, New Jersey. Minutes will be provided at cost and in accordance with board policy. Are there any board members present who believe this meeting to be in violation of the Open Public Meetings Act? There being none, we may proceed. In compliance with the fire code of the state of New Jersey, I call your attention to the emergency exits for this room, which are located on the side and in the back. Before we move on to the pledge, I just want to make a note that board member Jean Bourgeois is joining us remotely via the computer, but she is having a few technical difficulties right now. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I hear her. Item C.
Be it resolved that the East Windsor Regional School District may hold 2 closed sessions at this meeting. These closed sessions concern staffing report, personnel, negotiations update. Minutes of these closed sessions will be made available to the public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Second.
Any questions? Poll the board, please.
Ms. Drake?
Yes.
Ms. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes?
Yes.
Ms. Brajoli?
Yes.
Everyone here okay? Okay. Mr. Weeks?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholson?
I trust the group, yes.
Ms. LaRusso?
Yes. Item D.
Having read the materials received, I move the agenda be approved as submitted.
Second.
Poll the board, please.
Ms. Drake?
Yes.
Ms. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes?
Yes.
Ms. Brajoli?
Yes.
Mr. Weeks?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholson?
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso?
Yes. Item 2, superintendent report.
All right, good evening, everyone. Just kind of a midsummer check-in. Can't believe it's August already. I was just sharing at the Wellness Committee meeting that August is the Sunday of the summer for me. So I'm a little nervous, but still some time remaining. So quick update regarding hiring. To date, we've hired this summer approximately 55 certificated staff members. I want to definitely commend our district leadership team for its diligent efforts in terms of recruitment. Also want to commend our human resources department who kind of has to go through the process of ensuring that these folks are onboarded and have the necessary credentials. So we still have some hiring to do, but definitely the bulk of it has occurred to date. We do have new teacher orientation on August 29th, 30th, and 31st. Last week, Monday to Thursday, we had our annual district leadership retreat. The theme for the retreat was leading with empathy, integrity, resilience, and collaboration. This is just an opportunity for about 30 to 35 of the district leadership team members to gather. We engage in really kind of setting the stage for the year ahead. In order to do that, we engage in some reflection of a host of things, starting with the mission, our district goals, reviewing student performance data. We use it as a springboard to begin to craft and have some areas of focus for goal planning for the upcoming year. Definitely, we dedicate time to reviewing the process related to the evaluation system, specifically highlighting and providing an emphasis on the need for clear, meaningful feedback. This year, we engaged in some school law legislative updates that we thought were relevant to the work, school safety, security. We also dedicated some time this year to engage in some resilience and well-being training for leaders, which focused on positive psychology, optimism, and just some approaches to nurturing trusting relationships with individuals, but also from a collective team approach. Summer is an opportunity for learning to occur for our educators in the district. So we've got a pretty robust sense of offerings for our teachers throughout the summer. These sessions are planned and facilitated by a curriculum supervisor, so I definitely commend them for their work in terms of providing these opportunities for our teachers to kind of get a sense of what they can put in their toolkit for the year ahead. So just a sense of what that looks like. The list is pretty long, but a feel for what teachers are offered, curriculum articulation within all of the content areas, running records collaboration as it relates to, I'm sure I should say calibration, but there's also some collaboration, but running records calibration, lesson structure, grade book setup, and just ensuring that we have some consistency with some parameters regarding how we're looking to assess students throughout a marking period, accommodations and modifications related to lesson planning and small group instruction. So I definitely want to commend our supervisors for their work, but just want to remind folks that the summer also serves as a learning opportunity for our teachers as well. Quick update, it's evident that we've kind of taken on a pretty significant lift this summer as it relates to facility upgrades. So I definitely want to thank the board for its support in terms of allocating resources to ensure that our buildings are both aesthetically pleasing to the eye, but also what we believe are efficient, but also up to date as it relates to infrastructure. So as I've shared before, we've kind of engaged in a process where HVAC obviously is a priority. But as we've identified segments of buildings where we're looking to upgrade HVAC systems and equipment, we've also looked to engage in some upgrades to, some of the structural aspects, but also some of the exterior aspects of a school setting. So typically we've been kind of engaged in some casework, sometimes some flooring, oftentimes some flooring, and some lighting. This kind of, the genesis of this actually kind of came about with GNR in particular. Actually, it really started at the middle school, but in terms of the lighting component, GNR, we'll go back about 4 years ago, GNR definitely did not, for me, it did not feel like an elementary school because I just felt like the hallways were a little dark. So we kind of worked through how could we phase this in, because obviously we could not do this all at one time. But we really made some significant progress in terms of that building in particular as it relates to renovating some of our classroom spaces. So we are continuing that work at GNR this summer, both interior, I should say, renovation in addition to HVAC upgrades. So we're going to be installing more rooftop units in that building. WCB, we engaged in the second year. Last year, we upgraded the cafeteria, some bathroom spaces. This year, for WCB, I guess the focal point will be the media center. We're definitely upgrading that, kind of like stripped it bare and started over. So we're really excited about the progress we're making with that. But they're also engaged in some HVAC renovations at WCB as well. At the middle school, continuing with the HVAC replacement, we also modified some classrooms, the MD classroom being one. I just visited that on Friday. Our maintenance department is doing amazing work in terms of handling that in-house. So new floor, paint, lights, and they'll have some new kitchen equipment in the MD classroom at the middle school, so we're excited about what that will look like. As we talked about before, the big initiative is the middle school's parking lot that we're looking to yield another 120 parking spaces at the middle school, and as well as resurfacing that parking lot in the front. And we're going to do a slight modification in terms of drop-off pickup design, just to kind of simplify that as well. So that's moving along quite nicely. We've shared this before. We, based on some of the funds that we were able to yield from our food service provider and program, we have purchased new kitchen equipment in some form of fashion for every school. Here at the high school, we've got a walk-in freezer, which is actually so big it's outside the building. So we actually, you know, in engaging in the process of replacing that, we had to kind of really strengthen the foundation that it would be placed on. So we're excited about the kitchens all receiving appliance upgrades. Everyone likes new appliances, so that's moving along quite nicely. I was talking to Paul Todd, and he shared with me that it was quite amazing that as we took on a heavier lift deliberately this summer, regarding our HVAC upgrades, and with an emphasis on MHK, GNR, and Walter C. Black, it appears that 80 classrooms will have upgrades across just this summer alone. And this is not our first summer doing it, but this summer in particular, 80 classrooms will benefit from upgraded HVAC, air quality, and systems. So there's a number of things that come along with that. We have a remote management system. We have a CO2 flushing component with the equipment, and obviously better humidity control. So we definitely believe we're moving in the right direction. And also this summer, over 35 classrooms will be renovated at both, actually at 4 schools. The high school, I didn't mention that, MHK, GNR, and Walter C. Black. The high school, I just add, we resurfaced the gym, kind of repainted it. We also prepped it for volleyball. If you recall, the board supported the addition of volleyball as an interscholastic sport beginning this year. So volleyball, girls play in the fall, boys play in the spring. In order for us to have an official volleyball court, we needed to have the appropriate net structure, which means that we just needed to kind of drill some holes in the gym. But the gym looks really great. It's kind of just in terms of the design and the resurfacing and the preparation for volleyball, very exciting. Looking forward to the addition of our students participating in volleyball. I will then transition to an opportunity that presented itself recently. So, and this is just kind of just a quick highlight, and we'll, more information to follow about this. Connected to facility improvement, you may be familiar with the term ROD grant, which is really just regular operating district grants that enables districts to have 40% of their funding for an initiative offset through grant funding. So through the work of our business office and our architect partners that we have, it appears, will be approved for $6 million towards the HVAC upgrades that we'll emphasize for HHS for next year and beyond. But we may be able to handle this next year. So this is a huge plus for us. And we were kind of waiting for the high school's upgrades en masse, just because it's the largest facility in the district, and we knew it would be a heavier lift. This obviously enables us to engage in that process in a way that alleviates some of the financial burden that the district would have to allocate. So definitely feel good about the direction of that. And with that, I will conclude my reports, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Mark?
Just a question, real fast. We discussed in June the World Language Department situation, and you were discussing hiring and the situation. Do you have any comments on that, Mark?
Well, a couple things. Updates since then. The board approved a new supervisor for the bilingual world language ESL department, 612. That occurred at the last meeting. I'm not sure specifically what you're asking about in terms of the world language department.
What number of teachers? I mean, ready to, tackle the, for example, the French department, all these kind of things?
The French department is still there. We have a plan for French for the fall. I will say though that world language is a real issue. You know, we still have some world language positions that are not filled at the middle school under the Spanish umbrella. And it's not unique to our district, but you know what we're finding is that the pool for world language teachers is really shallow, and I think it's going to force us to have to kind of look at world language in a creative way as we move forward. Maybe leveraging technology in some instances for certain students who we believe that can manage that. There's a few models. One model is to engage in, leveraging technology, but having a live teacher presenting the material. But in terms of the French conversation specifically, I will say today that we have our staff. Our staff will be there for the French department.
Just to clarify.
And also German.
That's it. I was
And
going to say, I'm not just concerned about French.
And also German. Yeah, and also German. But yeah, in terms of world language teacher need, for us right now, it's elementary and middle school. So we're still looking to recruit, pursue that. But I just think as we move forward, I don't know where the world language teachers are coming from, unless we're like taking them from other districts, which we certainly have no problem with. But, I just think that that's an area that across the state that I think we have to look at with a creative lens in terms of addressing need.
Thank you very much.
You didn't mention this in your report from the last meeting. Can we still give you comments on the mascots? The mascot,
Oh, feedback? Sure.
or is that,
Actually, I have to give you an updated.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't give that to you yet because that was one thing we looked at the retreat. So I need to
Oh,
give you
okay.
an updated batch. But you can certainly give feedback. But yeah, in fairness though, I do need to give you an updated round
Okay.
of options.
And
Thank
just a second comment, completely unrelated to my first comment. Congratulations on the grant. I think it's wonderful. If I remember correctly, changing the air quality in our school system is a total of $80 million, something like that, if I remember correctly. So $6 million coming as a grant, I think is a great achievement. So
No,
congratulations.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mark? If not, we'll move on to item 3, first opportunity for board member comments. Any board members have anything they wish to share?
I just wanted to remind everybody that the CSA evaluation is now live on school boards, and everybody who is available to do that or who isn't conflicted can complete that. The next steps, once folks have completed it, are for us to meet together and to go over it and provide a consistent message, look at what everybody is saying, and get together. And then we meet with Mark and talk about that as well. So I was thinking probably we would do that at the September meeting. And then we'd meet again, at the October meeting. So we'd have to do it 2 separate meetings.
Right, is there a deadline, Jane? I can't remember.
So the deadline for it to be done has passed, but we can create our own deadline to do it. Like if you guys can get them done, maybe by the like it was 3 weeks, like the 28th of August, and then we can give it to let Jesse know we're all done, and then he can spit out his little report, and then we can use that in September to do the to have our
Discussion.
conversation about it, and then
So just to remark on that, I will not be here for the first meeting in September, so if we want to take that into account.
Okay, so we only have one meeting in September. It's on the 11th.
Right.
So you won't be here for that meeting. Okay. So then we'd have to talk about how we would meet.
When is Labor Day? It's the 8th? Labor Day is the 8th, right?
Labor Day is the 4th.
Oh, no, so I'll be here. Never mind. No,
Okay.
I thought it was early. I thought we discussed that. I would not
That's
be
way
here.
better. Okay.
Will everybody be able to get their evaluations done by the 28th?
That's 3 weeks.
Yes.
If you have any problems, just let Jenna know.
Just let me know. And then does everybody feel like, there are some people who aren't here, but everybody who's here, going to be here at those 2 meetings, the 11th and the 2nd?
Yes.
Yes, good, all right. Excellent. That's all. Thank you.
Anyone else? I just want to remind everyone that the next meeting, the 21st at 5 p.m., is our board member retreat. So we'll meet from 5 to 7. There will be dinner, and then we will proceed with our regular board meeting. If, as it stands right now, we have enough people. If someone needs to cancel that has not already let Paul know, please let him know as soon as you can, just for attendance purposes. Okay, if there's no more board member comments, we'll move on to item B, first opportunity for public comment. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak? No? The board is going to leave for executive session. We'll be gone for about, what, 20 minutes-ish? For around 20 minutes, and then we'll come back. And then we'll come back to vote on some items.